Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of the Reset Podcast. I'm your host, Lauren Munoz, CEO of the experience agency D-Flash. This is part of my 29 Days of Magic series where I'm finding 29 phenomenal Black women who are doing game-changing things and having a great conversation with them. I'm super excited to have Dominique Spooner, who's a creative storyteller and producer and goddess of many things in the creative field. And we're going to have a great conversation. Take a listen. Hey, Dominique.
Hi.
I knew you were going to do that. I just knew it.
What?
I'm super psyched to have you on the show.
Well, thank you for having me.
I know that this is your first interview on a podcast.
Yeah, it is.
So I promise I'll be gentle.
Please.
So we'll ease you right into it. Dominique, what was your first job?
My first job out of college.
Whichever you want.
Because I've had many jobs throughout my life. I've been always working, child. But I'll just start with my first job out of college. My first job out of college, I was a youth media educator. I taught children throughout NYC how to make documentaries, news stories. Taught
What?
them. Yeah.
Out of college?
Yeah.
How?
You know what? You got to talk to your professors. Like, people think, like, you get out of college and you just go on LinkedIn. No, you need to actually, like, speak with your professors and say, hey, listen, this is what I want to do. Can you help me? And I told one of my professors, like, yo, I want to be a youth media educator because I was doing it while in college. And he was like, got you. Talk to this man. This is his organization. And that's how it happened. And I was a youth media educator.
Wow. So how young were the kids that you were teaching how to make documentaries?
It ranged from like 6 up to 17. And then we also...
6-year-old?
Yeah.
How do you teach a 6-year-old how to make a documentary?
So we literally had Zoom cameras. Remember the Zoom?
Yeah.
So we gave them Zoom cameras and we told them this is the story that we want. We guided them. We gave them storyboards and we said, this is how you make a storyboard and tell us the story that you want us to help you make. And they were like, well, we want to make this story. And we're like, okay. So I had a co-youth media educator, and we split up amongst the teachers. And we were like, okay, you go with that group. That group's talking about bullying. That group's talking about having best friends. And so we each went with each group and supervised their film as, like, I guess, EPs.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
And were the films kind of good?
They actually were.
For 6-year-olds?
Yes.
Because they were prodigies.
No, I'm telling you.
You were really good at your job.
I mean, hey, maybe. But seriously, there was one where they literally had a story about 2 women who were fighting over a boy, but then at the end, not 2 women, they were girls. 2 girls fighting over a boy, but then they came to actually be friends again because they realized that the boy wasn't really that important. Their friendship was important.
At 6?
Yes.
Wow.
It was great, man.
Oh my gosh.
It's great.
That's kind of incredible.
Yeah.
I can't imagine being 6 years old and thinking, oh, but that would be so much fun, though.
It was.
I mean, I remember my dad got me one of those, like, video VCR cameras, like, when I was, like, 8 or 9 years old. Mm-hmm. And I loved that thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Making, like, little kitty videos. Mm-hmm. But I remember, like, that was just this huge thing, because I'm obviously older than you. By a few years. Maybe a decade. But, like, it was so much fun making those little videos. Mm-hmm. I was, like, 9 or 10. Yeah. So to be 6, oh, my gosh. Yeah. Well, see, this, again, proves my point, that every time I ask this question about what your first job was, it directly correlates to what you do now, which is...
Yeah, I'm a storyteller, and that's what I do. I can't help it. Making films is the first medium. That was the first medium that I chose to get into to tell the stories. So I was doing documentaries. My first, like, short doc ended up on a website called Harlem Focus, and it was focused on the issue of HIV/AIDS in the Black gay male community. Because at that time, during my research, it told me that the group that was most affected was this group. And so I was like, well, why aren't we talking about this? And so that's what I was doing in, like, 2015, and that was my first publication, like, airing or putting my stuff out there. And then in, like, 2014, I went to Curacao and did a documentary about the African influence of their country, got into a film fest, Black Star Film Fest, and that was really great. And so it was film, which was the first medium. And then I ran out of money, and I was like, oh, man, this isn't fun. So then I went into TV, and
this is poverty. What am I doing?
Yeah, pretty much. So I was like, all right, let me learn the business side of media making so that I don't fall into this trap again of just being an artist that just is an artist and doesn't
starving artist, literally.
Yeah. And I don't want to be that ever. Like the film Rent and the play glorifies these starving artists, but that is not glory. It is not cute. It's not okay. So I made the decision to work it professionally with a television station so that I could grow professionally and really learn the business and not be blind as an artist that also has to make sure that she takes care of her business. So I was doing that. I've been doing that for the past 4.5 years, and now I'm actually transitioning out and going on my own.
Phenomenal. Mm-hmm. So I don't think I have ever met a Black female filmmaker who also does the TV stuff on the regular network. How do you do that?
Okay, so you do have to be ambitious. You can't, unfortunately, you can't just take what people give you. You really have to, I don't want to say be pushy, but you can't be a wallflower. You have to really say, this is what I want, and I'm going to get it. And you, ma'am, sir, are going to help me.
I love it.
You really do. It's not even a game. Mm-mm, so, when I started at Channel 13 is where I currently am. When I started, I had visions already. I was like, yo, we should have this on air and that on air. And they were like, slow down there.
Newbie.
Yeah, you're our office production assistant. I'm going to need you to chill out. And I was just like, yeah, but we could do this and that and that. And then finally I was like, you know what? These are my bosses. They clearly want me to do this one thing, which is to be an office production assistant, among other things. But let me actually figure out who I can talk to who's going to allow me to actually get stuff on air. So I spoke to a woman named Joan Hershey, who is the director of NYC Arts. And I was like, yo, I got this idea to highlight subway musicians and to profile them. And she was like, that sounds great. We'll call it Music Under New York. We'll do this. And 5 episodes later, we shot our last episode this past Tuesday. I got a whole series.
So that's your baby.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, I got a series on.
So before you were even 30, you got real TV on real TV networks because you pitched it and you were like, I'm not about to be I'm going to sit in this corner and figure this out by myself. I'm going to go to the people who are the steak makers and be like, here's an idea.
Yes. And
did you shoot it as well?
Yes.
So you shot this. It was your directorial eye.
Yeah.
See, that's phenomenal.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when you did that, what was that feeling like for you?
Oh, it was fantastic. I remember. I just remember her actually listening to me and being like, "You got a good idea," and I was like, "Gasp! This lady believes in me. Oh my God, this is what it feels like for someone to believe in you. Let's do this." And then to actually be on set with my camera, capturing these artists and then talking to them. I was like, yo, this is what I'm supposed to do. This is magnificent. Storytelling, yay. This is it. And so that's when I was like, I'm a producer. And so the office PA job and my title did not reflect what
the work you were actually doing.
Yeah, I was doing AP work. So let's just say I was an AP, associate producer, and I was like, no, this is not it. I need to produce. So after a while, I just didn't like the fact that was my side show. I didn't like that my 9 to 5 was mainly AP work, behind the scenes logistics, which is something that's important, but
not for you.
No, I'm a producer. So yeah, it pushed me into production management. So I've been in production management for the past couple months, and now I'm like, all right, I'm going to get the resources to make sure that I can go back into the field as a freelancer and just make these stories because I have proof that I can do it now. So
what is it about sort of capturing subjects that makes you so happy? Because you were so amped when you started talking about that.
I wasn't I? Oh, stop it.
That means you're really good at it. FYI.
What is it? Honestly, again, like I'm a storyteller, so I like telling stories, and specifically, I like for other people's stories to be heard. Oftentimes, people are silenced by themselves because of fear, and when you allow people to speak out, you don't know how much you change the world. So by highlighting these subway musicians, they're not just subway musicians, they have stories. And you highlighting their story tells somebody else that they can do something. And that's what's so exciting to me. One voice can amplify 10 others, and so on and so forth. And so that's why I said, this is what I want to do, because this is important. It's not about me. All I am doing is being a medium. And if I'm supposed to be used this way, then I'm supposed to be used this way.
Funny, I have the same thought by doing this whole 29 Days of Magic thing.
See?
Yeah, no, it's interesting because, like, it, one, you look like a Christmas tree, so clearly this is what you were meant to be doing. So,
oh, stop it.
No, own that, girl.
Yeah, you're right. Okay. I am a little shy.
Yeah, but we're helping here. We're getting you out of this.
Thank you.
So, how does someone like get started in shooting? So, like, what kind of cameras do you use? Like, let's not kind of go a little brass tacks. Like, what's kind of the tools of the trade?
Sure. So when I was in college, my university they had like older broadcast cameras, mm-hmm. And like when I went to South Africa for study abroad my senior year, I was doing a piece, and we had the big like broadcast cameras.
Like the old school, like,
yeah.
Carry on your shoulder.
Yeah,
and you're like, this is heavy.
Right. So I need, firstly, universities to upgrade themselves, because when you actually get into the world, most folks are using DSLRs. Mm-hmm. And I have a Canon 7D DSLR, and it was given to me as a gift by a cousin, and I just added on to it. I bought lavalier mics, I bought tripods, I bought lens, to add on to my equipment. And that's how I began to shoot my own stuff. When I got with the station, still I was using my own stuff, but they had stuff too. So they have Final Cut they have Adobe Premiere. They have classes. They had, stuff to help you. So for anyone who wants to like actually just get out there and start going, you need to get the actual tool that's going to help you to get going. For me, it was a camera. It was a Canon 7D, and someone gifted it to me. You may have somebody who's very generous and helpful and kind who may gift that to you, whether it be a Zoom camera that used to, and you can actually shoot 4K video on an iPhone.
Which is crazy now when you think about it. Like, yeah. Most iPhones now are 4K, which is kind of nuts.
Yeah. Yeah, so just get the one tool you need to get you out there and get you doing what it is that you said you want to do. For me, it was a Canon 7D. And it's still a Canon 7D.
You're like, because this is the camera.
Yeah.
And so is it what is it about shooting it? Is it your eye when you're looking at those subjects that sort of helps bring their stories out?
Okay, what is it about shooting? I think it's just being there. Yes, I have to pay attention to the sound levels and the frame, sure. But just like I can tell you of an experience. I remember it vividly. It was the first time I ever was in the field and shot something, a story. I was in the field documenting the informal labor sector in South Africa, and I was in a shanty town called, I think it was Kliptown in South Africa. And I remember being in the middle of the town and feeling the vibrations of these people and the buzzing of the cars and such, and just feeling such a rush and such a happiness and thinking, I'm in the middle of this amazing story and these amazing people who have lives that are so different from mine. This makes me really happy, and I want to do this always. So it's literally just being there, being in the subway, hearing, like this past Tuesday was our episode. We were highlighting a subway musician. His name is Eyeglasses. You know, listening to him play and seeing him play with such emotion, it was like, it moved me as I was able to capture the audience be moved. I just want to be there. And that's what it is. It's being there. The camera is nothing more than an extension of an eye. And it was my eye that's being extended. And that's what it is. And that's what makes me happy.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. And even this past Friday, I had a shoot at Carnegie Hall. There's this group that I continually photograph. It's called Mimesis Ensemble. And I was shooting yesterday, and then just to take a break and just hold my camera and listen to their music and watch everyone get so moved. And it was like, oh man, I want this forever. Yeah.
That's really incredible. It's clear that you were made to be doing this. Like it's unbelievably clear, and it's so lovely to see how much passion you get when you talk about it, and you're no longer shy. By the way, I see.
You're killing me.
Okay, so what are some of the challenges along the way? Because we know it's not Sunshine Lollipops where you're like, this is amazing all the time. Like, we know that's not it.
No, man. Oh my God. It's crazy town.
Outside of being starving poor. We get it. We've all been there.
You know what? Okay, so it was weird. So when I was, before I got my job at Channel 13, I was a starving artist. When I got my job at 13, I was no longer a starving artist. I was paid, and I was living my best life. Nothing was an issue, and I was living at home.
So you're like, and
yeah, nothing mattered. It was like, what do I want? You know, what do I want to eat for lunch? Sushi and everything. Yes, everything. So no, I was not. The issue was the time. Have the money, now the time is gone. So when are you making your stuff? That's why I forced my way into NYC Arts. I'm like, I got this idea, and we're going to do this because y'all not going to let me be not making art, because that's not what I do here.
So, I will make my art, damn it.
So yeah, that is a struggle. That was a struggle. It was heart-wrenching. It was like every day having to go 9 to 5 and be in an office and occasionally produce a series. It was like, oh my God, this can't be life. So that was a hardship. And having to navigate that was me going over the NYC Arts and also taking time out for myself to shoot and to on the weekends and stuff like that, even though it was hard. And then fast forward, I think that, and now that I live outside of my mom's home, I'm kind of back to square one with like, money is tight now. And when you work for public television, money will be tight. So that's the thing. It's like, now I'm like, okay, yeah, no, we got to do something else.
I got some ideas for you.
Yeah.
Well, offline, I got some ideas how to help you, my darling.
Yes, please. Because now I'm just like, okay, I got the skills, I got the knowledge, I got the business side, I got the arts, I got a whole series on television. We gonna like really.
We gonna be all right.
Yeah. So we gonna really make this work. And then the other outside of having no time and now barely any money. I think it's really believing in myself. That's the hardship. Is to really say like, you can do this. You have done it, and it's okay to step out on a limb and really go after what it is that makes your heart sing. Because oftentimes you're taught, go to school, get good grades, graduate, get a good job, and stay there as long as you possibly can. And it's like, not everybody's made that way, and I'm not made that way, and so yeah, I'm now at a place where I'm like, Dominique, we can do this. Let's do this, and let's take all the things we've learned to really make the dream a reality.
Awesome. So, what is the thing that you do for Dominique outside of like shooting with sheer joy and passion? Because I can see that there's more. There's even more.
What do I do?
So it could be somewhere you have a drink, somewhere where you go for a run, some reality TV
I have
shows.
several.
See, I know it.
So when I was about, 11 years old, I was in the library because I was a bookworm from like 9, from like 9, 10 years old. I was a bookworm. So I was in the library and I was reading a book. And I said, I want to be a writer. And so that's always been my first love, is writing. So that's my go-to. I have plenty of journals. I only write moleskins.
Awesome.
It's weird, but I have a
thing.
No,
that's a good habit to have because you'll know you'll stick to it.
Yeah, I literally can't write anything but a moleskin. I write constantly journal entries, or the first love was poetry, and I went to Long Island High School for the Arts, and that's where I really honed in on my craft of writing and continue to do so. So, little secret is, yes, I am a writer, and I don't really share my writing because, I don't know, it's very intimate. And I think
it's for you.
Yeah. And video, producing, telling stories, well, I'm telling everyone else's story. I'm not really telling my own. Yeah. So I write, I meditate. I have an app called Insight Timer on my phone. I do 6 minutes a day in the morning when I can. And I also go to a meetup. Oh, well, I also have a therapist.
Very, very important.
I have a therapist.
Got to. It's really important, especially for Black women.
Yes, and I have a Black woman therapist, and she's very helpful. And those are the things. Oh, and I have a meetup group that meets. It's a mental health meetup group, and I go there as well on Saturdays. Those are the things that I do to help myself. And if I really have zero energy to write, to go to a meetup group, and I always make therapy though. Then tea and naps.
Naps are good. Are you kidding me? I love napping. Are you out? Oh my gosh, it makes me so happy to be able to nap. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Because it's like I just need 20 minutes. Just leave me alone.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's just you.
Just you.
Yeah.
And like I have a big comfy kind of velour-esque blanket, and I just like scrunch it. I'm like,
yeah. See?
Yeah.
Because you cocoon yourself.
Yeah. Because like just leave me alone.
Exactly. Because at the end of the day, maybe you just need you. Maybe it's like it's a cry for help for you and nobody else.
Yeah. Well, it's because I have to put out so much.
Exactly.
And because I'm an extroverted introvert, so like
I feel that.
Yeah. Because I kind of hate people.
But you got a podcast, sis.
I have a podcast. I host stuff. I obviously am the head of sales of an agency. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I kind of don't. So it's all I give out. But then when I come home, I want to be left alone.
Yeah, man.
It's like that's why I watch a lot of Housewives, because I can still the TV.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah. So I'm with you on that.
Mm-hmm.
But comfy blanket's key. I know I have some friends who are all about the weighted blanket. Mm-hmm. I haven't gotten that far yet, but like I might soon, because I'm like, that sounds awesome.
It may be.
Yeah, it might be good. So, as part of this Black Girl Magic experience that I'm building, I want to do a give and ask, kind of like when we were at dinner.
Oh yeah.
So I'd love to see what's something you'd like, and if there's anything that you can give, and we'll share it with the audience, and just put it out into the universe, kind of like what we said, like say it.
Word. Okay. My give. If you need someone to help you document your story visually, I can give that to you. That's my give.
You better be careful with that one, girl.
Okay. Yeah. Just, I am limited in resources. This is not going to be a 5-camera shoot.
No.
But that is my give. And as far as my ask, yeah, I'm a producer. So if there is anything that I can jump on to project-wise as a producer, I would love that.
Awesome, because it's so just a shout out. You are a photographer.
Oh yes.
You can film.
Yeah.
And you can produce, and apparently you can write as well.
Yeah.
So a quadruple threat.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Pretty awesome, huh?
Thank you. I appreciate you saying that.
Well, come on. I'm not telling any lies.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. So it is such a lovely thing that you're offering to folks who are listening who may need some help telling their stories, but like Dominique is not free. Get Black girls paid. And also, if anyone out there needs a bomb-ass producer and shooter, I only work with the best, and Dominique is fantastic. So I'm going to vouch to her as doing great work. It has been such a delight to have you on the show.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate you, Laura.
My pleasure. And I mentioned we'll see with the Oscars in a couple of years. There's a couple of documentaries that are both up for best documentary film, and I'll be like, I remember her.
I had her on my show, so first of all, I need y'all to
just say.
Yeah. Oh, and the Music Under New York series. So it's been ongoing, but it's going to be one large piece.
Oh, awesome.
And it's going to air in March.
Oh, cool.
I don't have a date yet. Still being cut. But it highlights the whole Music Under New York is an actual program. The MTA has an arts program. And
wow, I didn't realize that's what it was.
Yes. Like you have to audition to get into
the subway.
Music. Yes.
Oh my gosh, I did not realize.
Yes.
That's pretty incredible.
And that's why they have those pink banners that say
right,
Music Under
it's been sanctioned by the city.
Yes.
Ah.
And there's like American Idol, literally it's like a panel of judges, and you get in front of it in Grand Central Station and you can actually watch it. It's in like somewhere in the summer.
Wow.
Yeah.
So we'll totally put the link, but we can still, it's on PBS, so we'll put all the links for that so people can go watch, because it's still on demand, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, so you get to see some of Dominique's work on PBS. But Dominique, it was such a delight.
Thank you.
I really, and I'm so proud of you, because I know you were a little bit shy.
I was like, oh my God, what?
But you did it.
I did.
Which is what you do. So we're going to see nothing more fabulous from you.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. And that is our show.